A moment.
Hey, it's Red Lace, and I'm playing Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and I'm going to show you how to play Gwent, which is the card game within the game. And it's a little bit involved, so we're going to go through the tutorial here.
Why not?
Splendid. Here's how it's done.
Okay, so Gwent's an ancient dwarven card game that simulates the clash of two armies in battle. The players are generals, and the cards are their forces. So if you're used to playing Magic, you can kind of get a similar idea of it, something similar to that, but it's slightly different. So you'll take the first turn in this game, and you want to choose a card to redraw normally, but since this is the tutorial, we're going to skip that. And so that'll give you a chance to really just get rid of two cards that maybe you're not too keen on and swap them out for something better. You'll see that the unit card strength is listed in the top left corner of the card, so that's how strong it is, so you want to use your highest cards obviously. And then the second icon is the combat row they'll be placed in, and there are 3 rows: close combat, ranged combat, and siege combat. And then the third icon is the special abilities. So some cards have special abilities and some do not. And this one grants +1 strength to all units in the same row as it. So the second icon is what row that's talking about. Weather cards are a type of special card, and they reduce the strength of all cards of a given type on the battlefield, including your own cards. So you want to use these wisely because they don't affect just your opponent, they also affect you as well. So again, at the start of the game you can select up to 2 cards to discard and redraw, but we're going to skip that because it's a tutorial and get straight into the game. So this is the battlefield, and this is my side, the first 3 rows, and then the opponent's rows are directly above me, and that's their side of the battlefield. So during each turn a player can place 1 card on the battlefield or pass. I don't recommend passing unless you have no plays. You'll want to play a card every time you can. Each deck also has a leader. The leader grants a special ability which can be used during the gameplay, and you can use this any time, and that's the icon over there on the left, so that's your current leader. At some point you'll unlock more leaders and you can choose which one, but for now I only have 1. And then playing cards. You'll want to press A to select a card from your hand, and press A again to place it on the battlefield. So it's my turn, and I'm going to pull up my cards here using zoom to see what card it is, and I'm going to choose a high level archer, which is the middle row, for my first playing card. As you can see over on the left hand side, there's these little numbers here that represent the strength of each row, and then the largest number represents the strength of your total army. At the end of the round, the player with the highest total strength wins, so you'll really want to keep an eye on this, seeing what they're playing, and you'll want to play something similar to try to keep your rows higher than theirs, and obviously you want to keep your total strength higher than theirs as well, if at all possible. So that's the goal of the game. So during your turn, if you do want to pass, you can hold down Y to pass your turn, and the round ends once each player has passed, or all cards are on the battlefield. So now my opponent will take his turn, and he also chose to play an archer. It's a little higher than mine, so now I'm down by 1, so I'm going to want to try to compensate for that. So it looks like I have some other archers and soldiers, but I'm going to play my highest archer so that my number in that row is now higher than his, which puts me back in the lead. And it looks like he played another archer, but I'm still higher. I'm at 10, he's at 9, as you can see on the left hand side. So I'm doing a little better than he is, so now I can play whatever card I want. So I'm going to play a siege weapon, or a siege card. Looks like he's going to play a melee, so I'll probably want to counter by playing a melee card as well. I have a 5, which is higher than his 4. So I'm going to go ahead and play that, which will keep me ahead of him. I'm up by quite a bit now, 13 to 21. Looks like he's going to play another archer. So that puts him higher than me, so I'm going to want to play another archer to get my row number higher than his. So I think I'm just going to go with a smart move and play my 5 archer to put my number ahead. I was thinking about playing a weather card, but I changed my mind. So then he plays another archer, so now we're tied 15 to 15 on the archer row, but my overall score is higher than his, so I still have the advantage. So I don't have quite the melee strength he does. I'm one lower than him, unfortunately, but I do have another archer, which will put me ahead of him in that row. So at this point I could pass if I wanted, or I can play one of my weather cards. But like I said, the weather cards do affect both you and your opponent. It's not just a bad thing for them, it's bad for you too. So you want to think wisely before playing one of these. And I'm going to go ahead and freeze the melee guys because his is higher than mine on the melee row and I can't do anything about it, so I might as well play it. Because it'll reduce all his melee guys to 1, and since he has 4 cards, now I have 2, that'll give me an advantage in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and pass. So the player who loses a round also loses a life gem. The game's over when the player has lost both their life gems. So I won that round because I had 29, he had 24, so he lost a gem. So the next round starts and you only have the cards left in your hand, and one of my abilities is I gain another card at my second turn, and so I'll be able to play one card this turn, which is a siege card, and it's level 6. So woohoo! And it looks like my opponent has passed his turn. So I do have the option here of playing my weather card, but since he doesn't have any cards out and I do, it wouldn't affect him, it would just affect me, so it's really not much point to doing that, so I'm going to skip it. I do also have the option of playing my leader card with my leader ability, but it really won't make a difference because he doesn't have any cards to play and he already passed, so I'm just going to skip that too. So I'm going to go ahead and pass, and I will win the round, so he's lost both his gems, which means I won the game. So a couple quick tips. Sometimes it's better to pass and let your opponent win the round so you can save your cards for later. You also want to keep track of your hero cards because they have high values. You can also acquire more powerful cards and new cards by completing quests, and you can also buy new cards from vendors throughout your travels. So there are the final stats of the game, and it looks like I won 29 to 24, and that's how you play Gwent in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to me on YouTube and follow me on Twitter at op6redlace.
True master asked for Stepan, a simple innkeep by trade, but a true maestro when it comes to Gwent.
I'll remember that. Thanks.